Yeah. आओ मैं बताऊं तुम्हें राज की बात, तुम्हारे हाथ एक खजाना लगे रातों रात। कहानी नहीं लड़के अब तो ये हकीकत बन गई है, पढ़ना लिखना अब आसान, दुनिया आगे बढ़ रही है। तो इंतजार कैसा, अपना मकसद तुझे याद, दुनिया का हर एक जवाब जैसे रखा तेरे हाथ पर। बदलो अब अंदाज थोड़ा, बदलो ये पुरानी रीत, आगे दुनिया से रहना है, पक्की है तुम्हारी जीत। मकसद है तुम्हारा के कुछ बन के ही दिखाना है, मकसद है हमारा सारी दुनिया को सिखाना है। अब रहा ना दौर वो, अब नया दौर आना है, दुनिया को बता दो अब ये मकसद का जमाना है।
दौर है तुम्हारा, मकसद है तुम्हारा, उठे कलम लिखे वक्त जैसे सब है तुम्हारा। एक वक्त एक आवाज देखे सब खोले राज, बदलेगा इतिहास, नया दौर नई साज। कोई भी सवाल हो जवाब मेरे पास, कामयाबी की खुली हुई किताब मेरे पास। चाहे कोई भी हो मसला, कोई भी हो बात, रखा एक एक चीज का हिसाब मेरे पास। खान on the beat, hey.
Hi, dear students. How are you? Hoping you would all be fit and fine. My name is Zafar Ismail, and I'm your English instructor here. Punctuation, the art of precision. There is no question about it. That will not only educate you, but also entertain you. So, if I sum it up, I can say learning with fun. Why we late for? Let's switch to the next slide. IBA Lumps Entry Test Prep. Now your preparation has landed into a final phase. That is very important. And you do not have to take anything for granted. You got to be meticulous. Wish you all the luck. Punctuation. Are expressions when they are replaced by symbols called punctuation. The symbols that describe feelings and emotions called punctuation. Not that difficult to understand. Like full stop, what we also called, which is called period as well. Question mark, exclamation point, comma, semicolon, colon, dash, which is divided into two different kinds of dash, and dash and im dash. I'm going to elaborate this when this screen comes. Hyphen, quotation marks, apostrophe, ellipses, contractions, and followed by small practice. And this practice is going to sum up what you would have learned in the end. Learning with fun. Comma placement changes the complexion of this sentence entirely. Look at the two examples on your screen. Let's eat grandma. This sentence makes grandma happy because there is a placement of comma. When we omit this placement of comma from this sentence, it would be like, let's eat grandma. Quite opposite. Now, this sentence is going to make grandma angry. So, in one sentence, grandma becomes happy, and in the other sentence, with the difference of comma, entirely changes the complexion, and grandma turns into a angry woman. So this is basically the magic of punctuation. So we are not limited with this example. There are many more examples ahead of it. The chicken is ready to eat people. Now you see there is a comma between eat and people, and that creates a bit of pause, and that pause clearly tells the meaning of it. But when we omit this comma in the second sentence, like the chicken is ready to eat people, so first sentence is acceptable, and when we practice the second sentence, the chicken is ready to eat people, that causes fight among people. As you can see on the screen, there are two images, and both of the images are as different as chalk and cheese. Now, the real magic of punctuation. Once, a professor entered the class and he wrote a sentence on the board. A woman without her man is nothing, and asked his students to punctuate this sentence accordingly. There are two sections in the class, male section and female section. Male section punctuated as a woman without her man is nothing, whereas the female section punctuated as a woman without her man is nothing. Now you see, a woman without her man is nothing, punctuated by male students. And the same sentence is punctuated by female as a woman without her man is nothing. If you compare both of the sentences, you are going to find a world of difference. They are also as different as chalk and cheese. Now, as you can read on the screen, an English professor wrote the words, "A woman without her man is nothing," on the chalkboard and asked the students to punctuate it correctly. All of the males in the class wrote, "A woman without her man is nothing." Keep it in your mind, it is punctuated by male section. All the females in the class wrote, "A woman without her man is nothing," and both of the genders punctuated according to their own interest. And this is basically a power of punctuation. Punctuation is indeed a very powerful tool. And I think you must be realizing, जब इंग्लिश में इस किस्म के एग्जाम्पल्स हैं तो उर्दू क्यों पीछे रहे? हमारे उर्दू में भी ऐसे एग्जाम्पल्स हैं. एक सेंटेंस है, उठो मत बैठो. If I ask you to punctuate it, how are you going to punctuate, and in how many ways you will be punctuating this? Which would make sense. I give you few seconds to punctuate it. Your time starts now. It's not that difficult. I hope that you would have done it. Now, let me punctuate this. If I place comma after mat, utho mat, बैठो, right? And now I punctuate it like this. Utho, mat बैठो. And now compare both of them. Utho mat, बैठो. Utho, mat बैठो. So both of them are exactly opposite to each other. Now you see, उठो मत बैठो, उठो मत बैठो. So when you compare both of the sentence, you find both sentences are absolute contrast. Look at them at a glance. The original sentence is उठो मत बैठो, and then it is punctuated as उठो मत बैठो. Second, उठो मत बैठो. So, such examples are found in almost all the languages. Now, I have demonstrated in English language as well as Urdu language. I hope that you would like it. Now, period or full stop. Full stop is practiced when sentence ends. When sentence ends, it takes a bit of longer pause in comparison with comma. Comma has a little lesser pause. For example, Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world. Now there is a pause after this. Another example, ice hockey is a fast moving sport. You see the pause? It is also practiced for certain abbreviations. Now you see example Gresham. There is a period after E and there is a period after G as well, as you can see here. Example Gracia. That is basically Latin word. Now, when we use etc, that stands for etc, right after C, we have to place full stop, as you can see here. And in second example, when we abbreviate anti-meridium and past meridium, that would be like AM and PM. So there is full stop with them as well, as you can see at the bottom. Question mark. Question mark is practiced for interrogation. When somebody interrogates, so he uses question mark. For example, why don't you participate in the debate competition? Look at me. Why don't you participate in debate competition? And the same expressions, turn into question mark when it comes to write. You see this question mark. The second example, is there anybody in the room? And this expression turns into question mark here. So these are the symbols. Exclamation mark. We also call this ulta I. So exclamation mark is practiced for outcry, emphasis, grief, joy, astonishment. And you can see 4 images on your screen. The first one is outcry. The second one is extreme grief. The third one is a mixture of surprise and sorrow. And the last one illustrates joy. It is practiced to convey strong emotion, outcry, or emphasis, what we have just discussed. For instance, wow, that was an amazing performance. You see the emphasis, the level of emphasis, the level of stress. But here, few of you may think that why we have used double exclamation mark. And that is also acceptable. We may use double exclamation mark when we have to lay more emphasis, when we have to lay more stress. We may also replace this exclamation mark with full stop. But when we place full stop here, it's going to give lesser stress. Now you see, wow, that was an amazing performance. Look at the expression. Oh no, I forgot my keys. Combination of 2 expressions, surprise and curse. Right? Don't we say sometimes, when we tend to forget or when we forget something important, especially keys, the same happens here. What a stunning view from the top of the mountain. Actually, this view was not expected. And when people, experienced this, they were amazed, they were surprised. So they said, what a stunning view from the top of the mountain. How beautiful shot he has played, as you can see on the screen. And this shot was not expected by the crowd. When the batsman played this exquisite shot, they were astonished, they were surprised, and they say, how beautiful shot he has played. And now, this how is not WH word. This is not question word because it comes with adjective. How beautiful, how expensive, how old, how tiny, how surprising. So these are adjectives. How is often used with adjective when there is a bit of surprise. How beautiful shot he has played. Now you see exclamation mark, and that shows surprise, astonishment, or wonder. Ouch, that hurt. That also combines with two expressions, astonishment and pain. Doesn't it happen sometimes we fall victim of sprain when we are downstairs? Our foot is twisted, and the same expression, actually occurs. Ouch. And we do not expect this. And it comes with a bit of pain as well. And the same happens here. In exclamatory sentences, the exclamation mark helps convey the speaker's strong emotions or reactions to a situation, and that's what we have studied. Comma. Comma is used for different items, setting of introductory phrase, and of course, to clarify sentence structure. For instance, she enjoys hiking, swimming, and cycling. You see, hiking, swimming, and cycling are separated with comma. Second example, the team consisted of players from the United States, Canada, and Mexico. United States, Canada, and Mexico are also separated with commas. After a long day at work, this is a phrase, introductory phrase. She went to the gym to relax. And you see what I have told you earlier? That introductory phrase is set off with comma. So here there is a comma which separates introductory phrase with the sentence. And both of them have close relationship. While studying for the exam, he realized how much he had learned. Now, while studying for the exam is introductory phrase that is separated with other sentence, with the help of comma. In the example above, the introductory phrase is set off by comma. Here, both of them are introductory phrases and which are separated with commas. Now, let's compare the same sentence with and without commas. The first sentence is, she bought eggs, milk and bread. जब कोई आपसे इतनी जल्दी से बोलता है कि उसने अंडे, दूध और डबल रोटी खरीद ली, तो इसमें क्या होता है? That creates a bit of confusion and that has less clarity. और जब वो कॉमे के साथ बोलता है, यानी कि प्रॉपर पॉजेज आते हैं उसके साथ, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, शी बॉट एग्स, मिल्क and bread. Now there is no confusion and there is more clarity into it. So this is basically a difference between the sentence with comma and without comma. Commas help distinguish individual items in a list, preventing confusion and ensuring clarity. Now here, preventing confusion and ensuring clarity. That's what we have just discussed. colon. It is used to introduce a list or explanation. For example, I have 3 favorite colors: scarlet, blue, and sea green. And you see there is colon. And this is a list of items separated by colon. Punctuation, the art of precision, which is on your thumbnail. The art of precision, punctuation. So we may use either of them, but when we place punctuation, that means we have laid more emphasis on the word first used. To make a sandwich, you'll need the following ingredients: bread, cheese, lettuce, and tomatoes. The same happens here. The list is separated with colon. Semicolon. Semicolon is used when there are 2 independent clauses and both of them are closely related to each other. Do you know independent clauses? Independent clauses are also called standalone clause, and they do not need support of any other clause to give clear sense, because actually they already give clear sense to comprehend. Now let's practice. I enjoy hiking. My brother prefers cycling. And both of the clauses are standalone clause. If I say I enjoy hiking, you would completely understand. And when I say my brother prefers cycling, you would also completely understand this. So both of the clauses are standalone clauses, and both of them are closely related with each other. So we separate them with colon. Independent clauses समझ नहीं आया. Independent clause are the clauses which do not need to be supported with any other clause. For example, if I say, if there is a cloudy weather, we'll go for picnic. So if there is a cloudy weather, this is dependent clause. This clause requires another clause, to give clear sense, while the other clause is a standalone clause, and we also call this main clause in conditional sentences. So we'll go for picnic. So we'll go for picnic, completely understandable. But when we say, if I stop saying, if it is cloudy weather, will you understand completely? Of course not, because this clause is dependent clause, and this is also called subordinate clause. So subordinate clause requires to have another clause to be supported with in order to give clear sense. I hope you would have understood, or if you not, so I'm going to give you more example unless you comprehend it. Now let's resume. The second example is, she wanted to go to the party. However, she had too much work to finish. Now you see there is connective however. In Cambridge system, however, furthermore, moreover, nevertheless, ये जो वर्ड्स होते हैं इनको कनेक्टिव्स कहा जाता है. और वैसे तो इनके बहुत सारे नाम हैं, यहाँ लिखा हुआ है. कंजंक्टिव एडवर्ब्स भी होते हैं, क्या कहा जाता है, कनेक्टिव एडवर्ब्स भी कहा जाता है, लिंकिंग एडवर्ब्स भी कहा जाता है, बट इट इज नॉर्मली यूज्ड एज कनेक्टिव्स इन कैम्ब्रिज सिस्टम. एनीवेज, so now you see she wanted to go to the party. Then there comes semicolon and then linking adverb, what we call connectives. And right after linking adverb, we have used comma. You must place comma after linking adverbs. So this is the same comma. So these two are standalone clauses. She wanted to go to the party. If I say she wanted to go to the party, won't you understand? Yes, it gives complete sense. It does not need any other sentence to be supported with. And now let's go to the other clause. She had too much work to finish. This is also a standalone clause. This is not dependent clause. This is independent clause. It gives its own meaning. It does not need support of any other clause. So now semicolon is used when we have two independent clauses and both of them are closely related, as we have practiced this in two examples. And I have given few more examples, verbally as well. Apostrophe. Apostrophe is used for possession and contraction. Contraction means to shrink something, to make something shorter. जब हम वर्ड्स को शॉर्ट करते हैं, जैसे आई कैन नॉट गो, सो आई कैन नॉट को जो है वो हम कैंट में तब्दील कर सकते हैं, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड कॉन्ट्रैक्शन. सो लेट्स टॉक अबाउट पोजीशन फर्स्ट. इंडिकेटिंग पोजीशन. Singular position, the dog's collar is red. Now you see this apostrophe shows possession. The collar of dog. It means the collar of dog. Plural possession. Don't many people are familiar with it. The students' project was impressive. And you see apostrophe after the word ends. And if it were singular possession, apostrophe takes place in between T and S, like students. And that shows singular possession. When apostrophe is practiced after the word is end, that is plural possession. Singular possession with a proper noun. Pretty simple. Mike's book is on the shelf. So it means the book of Mike. Ali's pen is on the desk. So Ali's pen means pen of Ali. So that is also possessive case, right? And proper noun. Forming contractions. Now, you see, it's a beautiful day. It's. When we open it, what comes out? Comes out. It's a beautiful day. It is a beautiful day. So, contractions are normally practiced in spoken English. I don't like coffee. The combination of do and not. Here, when we open it, what comes out? Do not. I do not like coffee. He can come to the party. The mixture of can and negation. When we open it, what comes out? Of course, cannot. You see here, this can't and cannot. She won't be here on time. Will and not. When we open won't, what we have? We have will not. They're going to the beach. There. Combination of they and are. So when we open it, what comes out? They are. Yes, this is a contraction of their. They are. Now, it comes out they are. Now, confusing contractions. The last and second last both. How many of you familiar with them? He had written his will before he died. So when we open head, what would come out? He had will come out. Why? Because followed by past participle form. When head followed by past participle form, that means the sentence is about future perfect. And in all perfect tenses, we practice V3, third form of the verb, what we call past participle. But there is one more here at the bottom. You see? And this followed by base form of the verb. One head followed by third form of the verb and the other one base form. So there must be big enough difference between these two. Enhance is base form. So when we open this head, what would come out? He would. He would enhance linguistic ability in his kids if they were interested. This is basically conditional type 2, which you have already studied in our session 2. If you have seen that session 2, so this is not that difficult for you to comprehend. Any confusion about head, the contraction of head? Is there any question about it? Let's proceed. Quotation marks. Quotation marks are used for reported speech. Exact words of speakers. And they are also used in quotations. For example, the onlooker said, "Damn it, our team is poorly performing." Now you see, "Damn it, our team is poorly performing" is exactly welcome back. There was a technical error occurred to us, and you know what? टेक्निकल एरर जो है वो कभी भी कहीं भी किसी भी वक्त आ सकती है. So the same happened here. So now let's resume where we broke it from. We were at quotation marks. Quotation marks are used in direct speeches when we have exact words of a speaker, and they are also used in quotations. For example, the onlooker said, "Damn it, our team is poorly performing now." So, "damn it, our team is poorly performing now." Exact words of a speaker, and we have enclosed them in inverted commas or quotation marks. Now, the bottom one is a bit confusing. "No, Ali," said they, "you didn't lose your game yesterday." And now here examiner has broken the exact words of speakers in order to distract candidates. Now, we may also bring them together, like they said, "No, Ali, you didn't lose your game yesterday." But when there is a breakage of sentence, and that creates confusion in the mind of test takers. So you do not have to be distracted if two clauses or more than two clauses come under inverted commas. You may get them together and solve. Quotation. God says in the glorious Quran, "Neither oppress nor be oppressed." अल्लाह ताला कुरान मजीद में फरमाता है, ना जुल्म करो और ना जुल्म बर्दाश्त करो. ला तज़लिमूना वला तुज़लिमून. Maulana Rumi, a great mystic poet, says, "What you are looking for is also looking for you." What a beautiful quote this is from Rumi. You are in pursuit of entering your dream university, and your dream university is also looking for you. Liaquat Ali Khan said, "Liberty doesn't descend upon a people. People have to raise themselves to it. And it's a kind of a fruit that is earned before it is enjoyed. This is absolutely correct. And now you see, all these quotes come under quotation marks. We have put them in quotation marks. Parenthesis for additional information. Eiffel Tower is famous landmark. And the phrase we have in parenthesis that gives additional information about Eiffel Tower. The author has written several bestsellers. Born in 1980. Born in 1980 is also additional information for the reader. The word bonjour is also used in English, and those who are not familiar with the word bonjour, and they may be familiar with it, reading what lies in parenthesis. Hello in French. Dash. I told you, in the initiation of the lecture, there are two kinds of dash. En dash and im dash. You see? En dash and im dash. M dash is a bit longer than n dash, and the size of n and the size of m respectively. It is used for emphasis as well. She was determined, the most resilient person I've ever seen. What comes here? Doesn't stress come here? Yes. The most resilient person I've ever seen. It is also used for emphasis or stress. Interruption. I was on my way to the store when, oh, I forgot my wallet. नहीं कहते कभी कभार हम कोई बात कर रहे होते हैं और ऑल ऑफ सडन समथिंग occurred to our mind and we forgot what we were talking and we changed the topic. The same happens here. जब मैं स्टोर की तरफ जा रहा था, उसने महसूस किया कि उसका वॉलेट नहीं है, तो उसने कहा आई फॉरगॉट माय वॉलेट. तो यहां पर ये जो डैश है दैट शोज इंटरप्शन एंड वी नॉर्मली प्रैक्टिस दिस. सेटिंग ऑफ फ्रेज, यानी कि फ्रेज जो है उसको भी सेट ऑफ करते हैं हम इससे. द सोल्यूशन इज सिंपल. जस्ट फोकस ऑन योर गोल्स एंड स्ट्राइव. व्हेन यू एडवाइज समबडी, डोंट यू से तवज्जो रखो, मेहनत करो सही डायरेक्शन में, टाइम जाया ना करो. तो ये जो है, हम जो एक फ्रेज को दूसरे फ्रेज से जो है को जब सेट ऑफ करते हैं तो हम डैश का इस्तेमाल करते हैं. इन डैश. इन डैश इज a little less longer than M dash, and that is used for range. रेंज के लिए भी इस्तेमाल होता है. ये कंपाउंड वर्ड्स जो बनते हैं उनके लिए भी इस्तेमाल होता है. ये ज्वाइनिंग प्रीफिक्स को ज्वाइन करते हैं उनके लिए भी इस्तेमाल होता है, और ज्वाइनिंग नंबर्स के लिए भी इस्तेमाल होता है. नाउ सी, द मीटिंग इज शेड्यूल्ड फॉर जनवरी 5 to 7. Similarly, read pages 50 to 75 for the assignment. So now you see 5 to 7 and 50 to 75. Both of them express range of numbers. Hyphen. Yes. Hyphen basically is used for compound words, not in dash. When two different words are joined and give similar meaning, like well-known, full-time employees. So and time, both of them are different words, but when they come together with hyphen, they are called hyphenated words and they generate only one meaning. Now you see, well known. Well known is considered to be one word, although there are two different words. High powered machine, for instance. So high powered considered to be one word that is hyphenated. Full time job. So full time is hyphenated here. Joining prefixes. The first example is pre-Renaissance, the period of Renaissance before 16th century. And you see pre-Renaissance is hyphenated. Anti-inflammatory. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. So anti-inflammatory, anti and inflammatory, both of them are separate words, but when they are hyphenated, they generate only one single meaning. So is the case with pro-American. Pro means supporter. So pro-American also generates the singular meaning. So these words are called hyphenated words. Don't we use or say brother-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law? They are double hyphenated. Joining numbers the same, 25, 29, 42, 68, so on and so forth. And the page from 10 to 15, so hyphen and index, both of them are used to describe range. Ellipses. Interesting. Ellipsis means leaving out words rather than repeating them unnecessarily. Sometimes we do not speak words while talk, and we consider it is either understood or unnecessary. For example, I want to go but I can't. But here I stop after can't and I do not practice go because I think that go is already understood or unnecessary. Instead of I want to go but I can't go. So this is called ellipsis. For example, Rahab saw 2 hawks in the sky and Sarah saw 3. But here after 3 there should be hawks, but speaker thinks that this is unnecessarily used. So, actually he hides it. He does not use it. Or speaker may perhaps think that this is understood by the audience. Creating suspense or leaving a statement open-ended. I have something important to tell you, but I guess it's not the right time. Don't we say in Urdu sometimes, अच्छा मैं तुम्हें एक बात बताता हूँ. नहीं, जब टाइम आएगा जब ही बताऊंगा. So now in दोनों sentences के दरमियान जो gap आ रहा है वो that is called ellipsis. And that creates suspense as well. Expressing uncertainty or ambiguity. I thought you said, or maybe I misunderstood. हाँ तुमने कहा तो था, शायद मैं समझा ही नहीं. अब देखें यहां पर जो है ये एम्बिग्यूटी क्रिएट हो रही है, अनसर्टेनिटी क्रिएट हो रही है. सो इसके लिए भी जो है वो हम एलिप्सिस इस्तेमाल करते हैं. नाउ फाइनली we have come down to small practice in order to sum what we have learned today. The country we visited dash had exquisite restaurants. There are 4 options. Option A, option B, C and D. Can you tell me which option stands correct? Who is going to tell me? Okay, now I tell you, option A, Spain, Italy and France. And you see there is a comma in the beginning that is redundant. And this redundancy makes this option incorrect. Option B, Spain, Italy and France. All these 3 words are separated with comma. It sounds Correct. But before I make it final, I'd like you to look at option C and option D as well in order to have better understanding. Spain, Italy, and France. And here after France, there is a comma which is unnecessary. So that is eliminated. Option D, Spain, Italy, and France. France is proper noun, and proper noun is used with capital letter. So this is erroneous as well. Now let's come back to option B. Here option B is proven to be the right option. Second question. The company plans to expand to 3 countries. Option A, South Korea this year. South Korea this year is one phrase, and that is unnecessarily broken, making option A inaccurate. South Korea this year, China in 2030, and Japan in 2032. Yes. Option B stands accurate. Now, let's explore option C and option D for better understanding. South Korea this year. Now, this phrase is also broken here like option A. So, option C is also eliminated. D, South Korea. And there is an issue about proper noun. Proper nouns, have capital letter in the beginning, whereas South Korea has small letters in the beginning, making it unqualified. So option B is said to be the right option. And thank you very much for your contribution. The book Dash does not discuss social media. Option A, published in 2001. Now, published in 2001 is enclosed with semicolon. That is improper. Unqualified. Option B, published in 2001. Now you see, dash. Why dash is used? I told you. Dash is used for additional information. Now, here place option B in the blank and see whether published in 2001 is additional information or not. The book published in 2001 does not discuss social media. So, the phrase which comes in between dash, they normally give additional information. See, published in 2001, here there is mismatch of dash and comma. Both of them come together. Option D, published in 2001 enclosed with quotation marks. No. Quotation marks are used for exact speaker words. So here option B stands accurate. Now, who's going to solve this? It's pretty tricky. My pet enjoys sleeping, dash, favorite hobby. You have to distinguish two things here. I'd like you to give me option, which option is right. And then I'm going to tell you and you are going to match, my option with your option. Make it quick. I know there is a bit of, thought process involved into it. It's not that easy, actually to hit the right option in nothing flat. It takes some time. Mohammad Hasnan has hit option B. All right. Thank you very much for your interest. There is one more answer, option D. Yes, those who have hit option D, they stand correct. Now, let's explore why option A, B, and C are incorrect. My pet enjoys sleeping. It's this is possessive case, and there is double possessive case, making it wrong. It does not stand anywhere. Option B, it's and is, and you see this is plural possessive case, and we do not have plural possessive case as actually we learned this a short while back. Option B is also unqualified. Option C, it is, it's, and it's. And both of them are contraction. So we need only one contraction. One contraction and one possessive case. So option C does not fit for the right option. Now let's get to the option D. It's and it's. And you see, it's. This is contraction. When we open this, what comes out? It is. So this one is contraction. And it's without apostrophe is possessive case. The actual sentence is my pet enjoys sleeping. It's its favorite hobby. I hope you would have understood. Tell me if anybody does not comprehend this and finding it difficult, why option D is accurate. I wait for a couple of seconds for your response because it's pretty tricky. This is why, actually I'm asking you, to give feedback, because such questions or tricky questions, do come in entry test, especially on your level. Now, the sun had already set. Darkness enveloped the city. Which option stands accurate? And we have discussed this in detail a short while back. If you have got a strong memory, if your memory serves you well, I hope that you are going to hit the right option. And I think we have discussed this point a couple of times in this ongoing lecture. It must not be a matter of good memory. When something is discussed twice or thrice, it remains in our mind. Now, is there anybody who is going to respond? Okay, now tell me whether these two clauses are independent clauses or dependent clauses. If you find out whether the clauses are dependent or independent, you are going to solve this mystery. And if you keep wondering, so I think you find it difficult to hit the right option. Mohammad Hasnain hit option A. I'm afraid, Mohammad Hasnain, you get it wrong. Okay, you don't understand. Now, I make you understand this. The sun had already set. This is independent clause, standalone clause. And darkness enveloped the city. This is also independent clause. When two independent clauses come together and create close relationship to each other, we use semicolon. So here, the sun had already set. Semicolon comes to set it right. Have you understood? Mohammad Hasnain, yes, your second option, is absolutely correct. So while the rest of the options are irrelevant. Now punctuate this sentence. If you punctuate it well, that means you have grasped 80% of this ongoing lecture. Your time starts now. This sentence sums up the whole lecture. Make it quick. If you keep all important points of this lecture, I don't think that you are going to go wrong. I'm waiting. Perhaps few of you in the middle of the road, thinking what to put and what not to. Fallen victim of uncertainty. Now you see, holy cow, screamed Jan. Holy cow, screamed Jan means holy cow means, this is a kind of expression, right? And speaker lays emphasis on it. So we place exclamation mark. And holy cow, who has said? Speaker has said. So we are going to enclose this phrase in quotation. Holy cow, screamed Jen. What does scream show? Doesn't it show exclamation? Yes. And now, second phrase. My mother-in-law's rants make me furious. So here, there should be apostrophe. My mother-in-law's rants make me furious. Here, if you want to lay more emphasis, you will have yet another exclamation mark, or if you do not want to lay more stress, so you may replace it with full stop. This is up to you and according to the context. So here in the end, full stop or exclamation mark, both of them actually can be accommodated, but both of them will not be accommodated at the same time. Either you will use full stop or exclamation mark. Now look at the solved one. Holy cow, exact speaker's word, enclosed in inverted commas. Screamed Jen, shows exclamation. My mother-in-law's rants make me furious. So here there is double emphasis. Exclamation mark here and exclamation mark here. So in the end, the exclamation mark may be replaced with full stop if you want to lay less emphasis. So I hope that you would have enjoyed, with light comedy of punctuation initially of this lecture. And there may be so many points, perhaps you may not be able to retain in your mind. So you need to watch this lecture yet again, and once you keep all the points in your mind, I'm sure that you are not going to commit wrong at the time of your entry test. Now it's time to say bye-bye. Thank you very much for your patience. Allah Hafiz.